In this video, we're going to look at CI/CD pipelines with GitHub and CircleCI. CircleCI enables continuous integration and continuous deployment or continuous delivery. In CircleCI, we can build a pipeline, and a pipeline says, okay, every time we do a commit, our source code that we've committed has to run through these steps. So the first and logical step is the build step. After build, we might do a technical debt analysis, something like SonarQube. And then after we do our technical debt analysis, we might run unit tests. And if all of these pass, our pipeline turns green, which means everything is good. Now, in the case of continuous deployment, we may just automatically deploy this. In the case of continuous delivery, we will take it this far but still have a manual deployment step to production. That might be more meaningful for something like a mobile app that would generate a download, where something like a website where you can update all the time, so a continuous deployment model might make a bit more sense, provided that you've invested well in your unit tests and everything else to make sure that this is a successful deployment. So what is CI/CD? Continuous integration means multiple integrations per day, and this is good because integrations give us feedback. What do we mean by integrations? You might be working with a dozen other software developers, and if you integrate several times per day, you'll have a very good idea of how your software fits with theirs and where there might be flaws. But wait till the end of maybe 2 weeks to integrate, then you find out all the problems at once, and the trick is you have already invested in that code base. When I started my career, it was more common to just wait several weeks and then integrate everything and hope everything works well, where nowadays we see that continuous integration gives us really good feedback early on. Continuous delivery and deployment I talked about in the previous slide. Delivery means everything is automatic and a manual deploy to production, and continuous deployment means everything's automatic, including the deployment itself. All of this comes together with continuous quality, because to have continuous deployment, continuous delivery, continuous integration, all of these other things, we have to have well-written unit tests, and we have to have good testing all around to make sure we're comfortable with what we have. Also, by doing the continuous integration, we find issues earlier. Now, there's 6 principles of continuous delivery or continuous deployment. These are items that I read off of some Microsoft training, so give them a bit of credit for this, although it might well be available in other training as well. So, simplicity. Naturally, keep things simple is easier to understand. Manifesto for agile software development. We like collaboration over contract negotiation. We like working software over thorough documentation, and several other principles that are pointed out in the Manifesto for Agile Software Development. Design thinking, think of design. Iterative and incremental development means we're doing small steps and we're verifying that it works. Lean management, as we get this information very quickly, there's less need for management overhead or micromanaging. And then estimation accuracy, because we're doing little bits of work and we're getting feedback quickly from our stakeholders, we can give them an idea of how long it takes to complete something, and also we get their feedback in time that we can integrate that feedback without throwing away a huge investment. So with CircleCI and with most other CI/CD pipeline tools, we can express our pipeline in a YAML document, a config YAML document. And this is an example that I used for just a plain old Java application. And what you see here is there are several steps. Check out the source code. Restore the cache if it exists, so cache a local memory of data. Okay? Grab the dependencies and save the cache if needed. Now, what are we actually caching? Many times we're caching entries from a POM XML. In other words, dependent libraries that are required for this to run or for this to at least compile. And then we have run the tests and look at the test results. So several very important steps that we're doing. Now, I also have a sample config YAML from an Android project, and we'll see that it's very similar to the project that I just showed you, with one small difference, and that is a Docker image here. You notice that this Docker image is Android API 29, where previously, I didn't mention this, but we have a Docker image with OpenJDK 11, which is just plain old Java 11. So what's a Docker image? Think of it kind of like a micro virtual machine that has certain things configured on it for our application to build and run. So this one is OpenJDK 11, which means it's meant to run a Java 11 application, where the Android one has an Android APK, so it's going to have the Android software development kit and the like. So basically just a little image that has enough stuff to build our application and then run the tests on our application. So that's a look at CI/CD pipelines. I hope this video has been helpful, and I look forward to reading your comments. Thank you.